What is going down, everybody? It's time for Mojobreak.com, The Hype. This is episode number 183, and it's Prizm Week 2021. Prizm NBA is here, and it's kind of when the hobby just kind of pauses, and everybody pays attention and starts collecting those newest rookies, their new rookie silvers, all the colors, building the rainbows, all that other fun stuff. How excited are you for Prizm, Dan?
Pretty excited. LaMelo, Wiseman, Edwards.
And many more.
Get ready. Starting up kind of at the ceiling. We'll see what it does.
We will.
I mean, we'll never have we've never had a Prizm release out of the gate that was $2,500.
It's
retail,
insane.
So,
and just to let you guys know, we just did another break room episode. The first episode was with the great Joe Staley, where he opened up some cards. The next one just released today with Derek Brassard of the Arizona Coyotes, and he pulled a phenomenal baseball card while we were interviewing him. So you got to check it out. It's on our Mojobreak Media channel, and Derek talks about his career and all the fun stuff of being a hockey player and opens some phenomenal boxes. So you got to check it out. But let's get right into Prizm talk. As Dan said, $2,500 on the retail price point for Prizm, the highest it's ever been. Do you think that price point's justified? I know it's early to predict, but I mean, that's crazy, and I think most collectors have sticker shock with that price point.
yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, we're in the industry, and I have sticker shock. You know, I know the retail SKUs, I think, have hit a little early. So I think the blasters might be out there and whatnot, and some of the prices I've seen out of the gate for blasters are higher than I've ever seen.
I haven't found,
as well.
and we have it in the slide, so we're already prepared for that. We've only found some hangers that had ended, and I know you haven't seen this, but we'll guess that price. So I'm assuming, I think the hangers are what, $10 to $15 if you walked into Target.
Yeah,
to buy
I think
them?
I want to say the right number. I want to say there's somewhere like $12 or $12.50.
So what do you think the market is?
What do I think?
Without looking at that slide, yeah.
Without looking, I'm gonna say $150.
Right on the money there.
Well,
they're anywhere between $150 to $170 for a retail hanger that can be found in Target, Walmart. I'm not sure if one of them might be an exclusive to Target. One of them might be exclusive. I don't know. But regardless, somebody is paying and getting 10 times their money. So whoever's sitting there waiting or has a connection with the retail rep is making 10 times their money.
So in every retail outlet, Target, Walmart, a little different. But it seems like how some of them are running at the moment with Prizm is that you show up at 8 o'clock in the morning and you go to the customer service counter and you put your name in.
I haven't heard this one
yet. So basically they're trying to prevent people from camping out in the aisles of the store. Mm-hmm. So now you go in, put your name in, and then they basically tell you at 10 o'clock we're going to put them out on the shelf, or you can come back to the customer service and get your one box. And they are absolutely limiting people. I think it's 1 to 2 boxes per purchase.
Yeah, I talked to a guy that was in the shop, I think it was a few weeks ago, and there was still like a line scenario, but they were only allowing each customer to grab 3 items. It was 1 item, but up to 3, but then you'd have to get back in line. So he said he'd grab 1, get in the back of the line, and then everybody else in front of him would grab what they needed to grab, and then he'd get his chance at whatever was left, and then it was like a kind of like a circle train type scenario going down here. So I mean, that's how crazy it's been. I mean, people say, hey, it's just trading cards. Well, some of these people are dreaming of the hustle, are dreaming of, if I get enough retail, I might be able to get a new Tessie whip or a new BMW or whatever, right? Or I may be able to buy my girl a diamond ring she's always been wanting, and this is my side gig, and it might be my full-time gig. So there's a lot of dreams going on, which is causing this mass hysteria for retail. And we don't carry retail. We break the hobby. We buy the retail from these guys. I don't know if I'll be buying hangers at $150, but who knows? Never say never, right? If people want it, we get it. But that's the crazy thing, is that you can buy something that's available to the public and 10 times your money right now with Prizm.
Yeah, I don't see this actually being sustainable for a couple reasons. One, like, the prices are through the roof. Two, like, these retail outlets they're either going to do one or two things. They're either going to start selling the product themselves at market. What stops them from being like, you know what, don't put them on the floor and just put them on the website Walmart.com and put them at $150.
Well, they do. That's where you got the bots. I mean,
no, I mean they put them on at market. Though.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, don't put it out at whatever suggested retail price. Put it out like the Walmart and the Targets make the money.
You got to think that that's coming, right?
Right.
You got to think.
I mean,
so.
you got to think that's either going to happen or they're going to basically contact. I don't know if it's still Excel or MJ Holding, whoever is doing it now, as the distribution process for the retail SKUs. Target, Walmart might be like, it's too much of a hassle. We're not making enough money. We don't want to. We're using some of our resources to basically do this whole situation, and we're not making any more money.
Right.
So like, we have to hire a customer service rep who's going to basically sit there and jot down everybody's name. They could be doing stuff that's going to make them more money.
Right. Exactly.
Rather than do that. So like, I think the breaking point will happen at some point.
I mean, you don't know what the analytics are. I mean, how many percentage of people are only buying cards? How many people are going back in the store and buying eggs and milk and stuff like that? I mean, I'm sure there's a real higher higher paid up at Target that has those analytics.
But even if they are like buying more product than just the cards when they go in there, is it worth the hassle? Is it worth dealing with people waiting in an aisle, waiting in line, camping out? Like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
I don't know. I guess only time will tell. Like you said, if they raise the price, then they at least meet in the middle there. I mean, selling something for $15 that sells for $150 is a little ridiculous.
I think what you do is you sell it at market value, and that solves your problem.
Yeah.
And as Target and Walmart, you make all the money.
Right, and you probably get people that are going to open it.
You get people who are going to open it, and you don't have the chaos in every one of your stores, because for every handful of people who are satisfied with the procedure of like getting one box, there's people who also get shut out that get discouraged, and they blame it on Walmart and they blame it on Target.
Yeah.
It's not worth the bad Yelp review, and it's not worth the bad press they're going to get from a
Yelp
bad
review
Google.
on Target. Do you think anybody reads Yelp reviews for Target?
I bet they do. It's funny. I bet people really do outside of an area where we live. Like if you go to different places across the country, I bet people do go by Yelp reviews.
Yeah, they got a
lot
lot
Google
of time.
Reviews and whatnot.
It's a lot of time on their hands to do that kind of stuff.
I mean,
yeah, they definitely have the Walmart and Target have they've got the monopoly going on for those kind of industries for sure. But if you guys, and I want to mention, there is for Prizm Basketball, there's a ton of different SKUs. If you're new to the hobby, you may wonder what we're talking about. So the retail SKUs like the hangers, the blasters, the mega boxes, those can typically be found in Target, in Walmart, in your retail type stores. And Fanatics may have some type of SKU as well. That's also considered a retail. And then there's hobby, what we carry. We have a card shop. Card shops carry hobby. Breakers hope to break hobby if they can get any. There's the hobby version, which contains 2 autos. So you guarantee 2 autos, and then you have 22 Prizms. So that's the key. You're looking at these hangers and stuff like that. The promises and stuff like that are not as much as you're going to get with the hobby. So you're going to chances of hitting the LaMelo Ball silver is the chances are greatly increased with hobby over retail. So that's something to keep in mind. A lot of guys only know retail. I mean, we get them in the shop constantly. They're like, why is your box 10 times more than Target? And it's like, because it's the hobby version. The odds are increased. The promises are more guaranteed. They have exclusives that sell better on the open market than what the retail SKUs do. So something to keep in mind when you're doing some research. And then obviously you have, within the hobby, you have the choice version, which has like tiger stripes, and it's like an 8-card pack. You have the fast break version, which has the discos. So next week when Prizm comes out, we'll have a little bit more of a breakdown on the rainbow, and C-Rad can kind of throw his input in on Prizm, and then we'll have a whole week of breaking it under our belts. But a lot to take in as a newbie in this industry. If you're watching this for the first time, just know that the Prizm rookie base and the silvers are kind of the staples. Everything else is kind of, it's up to your discretion on what you like. Everything has a value, of course. So I wanted to get into some of the pop reports, and I wanted to ask you, Dan, are we borderline on we don't know the numbers yet, but I mean, we know there's a lot more made. Can the demand of this industry right now sustain with the amount of Prizm and the single prices.
Are we talking about specifically the print run of 2020, 21?
2021, we and I'll go over some numbers here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a lot of new people come into the industry, but as fast as those people come in, they could also bounce as well.
Yeah.
So it takes one substantial wave of the new blood to basically get out of the hobby.
Yep.
And at that point, we will be looking at and the first thing to really decrease in value is going to be singles, and that's the first thing we're going to see. And then once that happens, you're going to see a decrease in sealed boxes and sealed cases. You're probably going to see the retail SKUs take a hit first.
Yeah.
And then hobby SKUs will follow after that.
Right. I and it's hard to say. Like we're saying, I'm not saying it's a bad investment at the price it's at because I don't know. We will know, though. We will know as soon as this is out for a couple months and we see the prices of the singles. But just to put it in comparison, so 2018 Prizm PSA pop report on all the cards that were submitted to PSA from 2018 Prizm. I mean, this includes everything, retail SKUs, everything all in one. 191,000 graded cards from the year of 2018, okay? 2019, 292,000, so an increase of 100,000. So you got to think that we're on the same path, if not maybe 1.5 times more. So we're probably looking at 400 to 500,000.
And that's just Prizm.
That's just Prizm Basketball. That's it.
Really, really digest the fact that that's just one product.
Yes. That there's almost, and this is only PSA too. Let me clarify that.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't even added the BGS numbers in here. I just figured PSA is the way to go. The staggering number though, which is strange that I couldn't decipher why this happened, and we'll look at some prices here, is that there was 28,000 Lukas graded and 29,000 Zions graded. There was 16,000 PSA base Lukas graded and 16,000 Zion base graded PSA 10s. So the numbers are very similar on those two-star players. So I can't decipher why. If there was 100,000 more cards graded, that means maybe people are just grading everything compared to the 18 year where they're not grading everything. Maybe the Giannis's are getting graded and the
LeBron's. Maybe instead of having 5 to 6 rookies that would get graded, people are grading all 40, 50, 60 rookies.
Yeah, that's probably what's going down, just in hopes of what's going to happen. So you have a couple different factors here. You have PSA price raise is going to price, some of the lower tier rookies out of it. People are not going to get the $20 guys graded anymore. LaMelo and all them, they're going to be graded. Don't get those are going to go to PSA.
They're going to get graded as long as the market dictates that it's worth getting graded.
Yeah.
Because you may see a lot more raw. If LaMelo's PSA 10s are selling for $300 to $400, you're probably going to see a lot less getting submitted at some point.
Yep.
Especially with the price increase of PSA.
Yeah, if you're looking at so we've got the prices on the screen here from 1920. This is the most up to date as of today. A Zion PSA 10 base is hovering around $700 currently. A Ja PSA 10 base is hovering around $370. A Ja Silver PSA 10 is $2,200, and a Zion Silver is at $5,000. So that was surprising to me that the Zions are hovering around $5,000.
I do want to say the Zions about 4 or 5 months ago, they were about $1,200 for a base PSA 10.
Yeah.
So they definitely have dipped.
There's just so many of them out there, right? I mean, there's 16,000 here. But also, if I look at the silvers, the numbers in the silvers compare, and we don't have Luka on the screen, but the PSA 10 silvers of Luka, there was 2,000 of them. The Zions, there's 1,100. So that tells me that PSA is like, just don't hand out 10s like we used to. So that, once again, my opinion. I don't know if that's true, but like there's half as many Zion PSA 10 silvers compared to the Luka number. So I think they're going to be even more stringent on the LaMelos because they have to. There's so much more population coming in.
But 1920 Prizm was harder to get a good grade.
Yeah.
Than 1819.
True.
The centering, bubbling. The bubbling, the dimples, it was a tougher PSA 10 than the 1819 Luka year.
Yeah.
So that also might be part of your analytics as well.
It could be. Yeah, that's the reason why you're not seeing so many 10s. But one X factor that we did talk about on last week's hype is the fact that the first off the line, which we did some numbers. We're not great at math, but we figured out that we think there's 16,000 first off the line boxes made. That's big because last year it was 10 cards. A lot less base. So one box had 10 cards. This year, one box has 144 cards, and the numbers are higher. So that alone is going to bump up the LaMelo base. You may not get as many. The silvers may be the same. There may be a few more in the market. But the LaMelo base is something to be concerned with if the market can handle it. And you guys listening at home could decide that. I mean, if I rip the box, I'd probably grade and sell right away as soon as I could get it graded and sell it.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think once that population report piles up, you've got, let's just say you have 30,000 PSA 10 base LaMelos. I mean, very volatile.
There's going to be a lot ripped. In the next couple of weeks. So keep in mind of that. There's going to be a lot on the market. If you are looking for one of the premier rookies or really any rookie, I would avoid buying out of the gate within the first week of release.
Yeah.
You're going to pay a premium. I would also avoid buying 2, 3, 4 years down the road if like LaMelo is like an all-star and then you're buying basically at the peak of that. And then there's also at that point there's going to be less of this product that's going to be on the market, so there's less of it sealed. I think the perfect time to buy after a release like this is about 3 weeks, maybe a month after release. Let the market get flooded with it. Let the prices settle.
Yeah.
Let the people who wanted it right away to get it in hand and get it to PSA, let them get out of the way.
Especially with the LaMelo situation, right? He's more than likely not going to play. So, the prices of the base are probably going to be at the highest on the release month, right? But when NBA's not on anymore, when it's like everybody's paying attention to Trevor Lawrence and, all those guys in the football season, like we're in August, then that's probably the good time to at least start looking at pricing and say, hey, these went from this price to this price. Maybe I'm a buyer now, if you believe it.
Yeah, I actually think about a month, because in about a month, basketball is going to be probably heading into the playoffs, I think, or into the season and whatnot. LaMelo isn't going to be doing anything that's going to make his prices increase.
I mean, there's a slight chance he comes back for the playoffs.
And there's a slight chance that he can probably end up winning Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
But
my money is on him winning Rookie of the
Year. The rest of the rookie class is going to be playing. Regardless, I mean, some of them are on teams that probably are not going to have a chance to make the playoffs, but they're still going to be performing and putting up stats that can increase their card value.
Yep. Cody, thoughts on LaMelo winning the is there a chance that LaMelo could win the Rookie of the Year in your mind?
I think it's his to lose at this point. I mean, he had the best start of any of the rookies that were performing this year, and the Hornets suddenly became must-see TV. So, I feel like it's going to take like a huge push here from like Anthony Edwards or, Tyrese Halliburton. But I just don't see it. Maybe somebody on the Knicks. I know Quickly and the Knicks are a nice story this year, so maybe there's that. But
how many games do we have left at this point? Right, 20 or 30?
We're a little more than halfway now. So there's about 20
I mean, there's players who can definitely emerge. Let's say the Kings actually make it to the playoffs. I think they're hovering probably around the 10th spot. They'd have to get pretty hot.
Let's not go crazy here.
They're right around where the Warriors
Kings
are.
Playoffs. I mean,
but
is Chris
let's
Webber
say Tyrese Halliburton is a catalyst on that team, pushes them into the playoffs. He could get some substantial votes for Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards, the Timberwolves will not be making the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's funny, and I meant to talk about this last week, but you guys just reminded me of this because we're talking LaMelo Ball, and LaMelo Ball's path to the NBA is something to be kind of take note of, because if he does win Rookie of the Year and he does have a successful career, you're going to start seeing people do that same route, whether it be the G League like Jalen Green or going overseas like LaMelo did and just skipping college altogether. Obviously education is very important for some folks, but with the one and done, the education's a joke anyway. So these guys in college cannot monetize their name. LaMelo was out there monetizing his name regardless of how well his father handled it or not. He had some leaf cards out, So this is where I'm saying for the card industry, if you think about it, if these guys decide, like some of these big stars start like going, hey, I'm not going to college, I'm going to go play in the G League for a year, you can start having pre-draft cards. You know what I mean? Like you can start having cards of these guys well before their first Prizm, which probably won't be the most valuable, but it's like extends the actually amount of collecting because, with college rules, you cannot have a trading card deal or get paid while you're in college. But if you go another route, something to be said. And I feel like this year's Final Four is kind of a lack of like a bigger name, like a Ja or a Zion. We're not talking about a lot of guys. So, I mean, you may start seeing this. If this is successful for LaMelo, you may start seeing these guys literally just skip school altogether, which could definitely have an impact in our hobby.
Well, they do have you probably went over, they do have a program with the G League.
Yeah. Yep.
Where you can skip college, and instead of doing the one and done, which it is a rule that can be debated. Like the whole one and done, I'm not a big fan of it. I think we should go back to, the early 2000s when if you're good enough and you're coming out of college and you're going to get drafted, go play in the pros.
Well, but that too. Yeah, the one and done's dumb. But I also believe that colleges should let these guys monetize their likeness. If you're a guy that like Zion, this Zion could have had a shoe deal when he was 14. But and I'm sure he got some stuff going on, and Nike had a deal in place already, but maybe he wasn't just getting the income. But like you look at the Fab Five and the fact that they were poor. And, if these guys are allowed to monetize, if they're that good, they should be able to go out there and monetize and do commercials and do these things and not let the colleges make all the money. I mean, the colleges are literally like these big schools are making all the money, and these players aren't getting anything. So that's why this G League or this Slovakia or whatever Lithuania route seems like, hey, if I'm a star already and I already know I'm going to be in the NBA, why would I go to college? I'm just going to go, get I'll go make some money with appearances while I'm playing in some Lithuania league.
I mean, I like the idea of the G League being able to play there. I mean, you're going against not top tier NBA talent, but you're going against NBA talent.
Exactly.
Where if you go play in like Europe, you're playing against professional basketball players, but you're not necessarily playing probably against the best in the world. G League is probably not the best in the world, but there are players who are in the G League who have NBA experience.
Yep, and all it takes, yeah, exactly, and that's what they always say with LaMelo is that he was playing with adults. He was in Lithuania playing with adults. So we'll see if that trend continues. But we got Prizm all week. We're doing 3-box breaks of the brand new Prizm. We're doing hobby and first off the line mixers, as well as some random team style. And I'm sure Conrad will cook up some crazy basketball mixer over the weekend to check out. So go check out the site, mojobreak.com. The teams are absolutely flying off the shelf. I mean, they as soon as they get posted, teams are just getting grabbed. I mean, there's a lot of potential with a lot of these teams. And of course, even if you're getting a team that only has vets like the Bucks, Giannis cards, Giannis golds, Giannis's black golds, Giannis's choice parallels, or LeBron, all that stuff. There's a lot of value to chase within Prizm.
It's a good point. Getting back to the point that you just had about playing in the Euro League for a year.
Yeah.
Well, look at Luka.
Yeah.
That's where Luka was playing.
Another good point.
So he was 17, 18 years old playing against adults.
Yeah.
Playing against professional basketball players. Is it a coincidence that when he came to the NBA, he was so polished and basically ready to take that next step? I don't think so. I think they're definitely onto something.
Yeah.
And because you're getting better talent in those leagues than you're seeing at the college level.
Yep. And especially, we were watching Jalen Green the other play. He was playing against Jarrett Jack. Jarrett Jack's 37, 38 years old. Has been on a lot of teams. but the guy knows how to pass, knows plays. I mean, maybe he's not good enough to be on a starting roster, but he's good enough to help train a young guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they were playing against, and we were watching that same game, and they were playing against the Warriors G League, and there was like 6 or 7 players who were on the Warriors G League that have been on the Warriors at some point.
Right.
That have been on, like, playing NBA, like, regular season NBA games.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, that's a prime example. Like, that player, it's, who's he again?
Jalen Green.
Jalen Green.
Yep.
Did 1 year in the G League. So, he basically is going to go into the draft next year. I think he's a lottery pick based on the fact that when we saw him play, he's electric. That might be the next path.
And it might be the start of, like, you know what I'm saying, maybe like not next year, maybe not the year after that, but maybe like we got Prizm G League, where we have these
there
guys.
there is a product out there that you can get his autos. He's in
Goodwin Champs.
2020 Goodwin Champions.
Upper Deck, just trying to get into basketball somehow. Well, that's all we have for the Prizm segment. Stay tuned for soccer. We're going to bring Gabe. It's going to be his first segment here on The Hype. Gabe is one of the up-and-comers here, one of the prospects at Mojobreak and at Mojobreak Media. So he's going to do a little soccer segment because he's a big soccer guy. We're going to talk EPL Prizm. So we're going to switch gears from basketball Prizm to soccer Prizm. And we're going to talk about 3 names that he's been watching. So stay tuned for that. All right, we're live. We're here to talk about some Prizm Soccer EPL. It's hot. We've been going through breaks at mojobreak.com, and we got our soccer in-house expert here, Gabe, to talk about some EPL. He's got 3 guys that he wants to talk about, and the first guy is Harry Kane. Talk about Harry Kane and why folks are still collecting Harry Kane in EPL Soccer.
Well, I think he's a forward for Tottenham Hotspurs, and he's really hot right now. And even though they're on the international break for the Euros, he's put up a lot of good numbers for Tottenham Hotspurs, and that is a big reason why they're still collecting him. And alongside him is Gareth Bale and Heung-min Son. They're also his teammates. And
nice.
Yeah, so Harry Kane, he's very good goal scorer for Tottenham Hotspurs, and that is like one of the big reasons that they've like all the collectors have been collecting him recently.
And he's I think England for the World Cup, right?
Yeah, England.
Nice. Yeah, I remember. I'm a big World Cup guy. I don't watch much EPL, but or any of the. I mean, there's a lot of soccer to keep up with, but I remember his name huge in England. So Harry Kane, yeah, awesome scorer. And then who's your next guy?
My next guy is Raul Jimenez, a Mexican national soccer player, and he plays for Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Okay.
And actually, he's been out for the remainder of the season because he had a really gruesome head injury. He collided with David Luiz, the defender from I think it's Arsenal or Chelsea, but skull fracture, had to have surgery, But when he played for Wolves, he was having he put up very good numbers. He was scoring about a goal every other game. But yeah, it's very tragic what happened to him. But Raul Jimenez, he's a very good guy to be collecting out there too.
Now, want to talk about breaks. Like, people get into breaks, and there's 20 teams in the European League.
Yeah.
What teams are people that are like new to getting into soccer? What teams do you think that they would want to get in this set?
Manchester City, Manchester United. You got Chelsea, Arsenal. Who else we got? Let's see. Fulham, Leicester City. There's just a bunch of teams to name.
But like Manchester United is probably like that's the one you want, right?
Yeah.
So if you had to pick one, it'd be Manchester United, you'd say?
Manchester City.
Manchester City. Okay. Yeah.
Top of the Premier League right now.
Nice. Good to know. And your last guy is Ollie. Talk about, and Ollie's a rookie, right? So this is his first rookie card in EPL. What do you like most about Ollie?
Ollie Watkins, he plays for Aston Villa, and he's a forward, so he scores a lot of goals too, just like Harry Kane and Raul Jimenez. And what I like about him is that he knows how to control the ball. His skill set is pretty amazing. When he gets the ball, he knows how to dribble through defenders and put the ball in the back of the net. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot more of Ollie Watkins and see what he can do for the rest of the season for Aston Villa.
What's your best soccer card in your collection right now?
I think the best soccer card is probably have to be a Dele Alli Red Wave.
Nice. Out of this set, right?
Yep.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I know you've been sorting and shipping these cards out, and they're absolutely beautiful. And I think domestically soccer is not obviously where basketball, football, and baseball at, but worldwide it's number one. And you can really see it in the cards. You know, if you're new to collecting, and you just look at Erling Haaland, just look at Jadon Sancho, and obviously look at Mbappe cards. I mean,
Yes.
it's literally insane, and they rival basketball, and sometimes even pass up basketball prices.
yep.
You know, so definitely something to look out for. And we're gonna be doing some more breaks. We got the breakaway version here at Mojobreak.com as well. So definitely jump in on those, and we'll do another segment soon. Gabe,
All right,
appreciate
cool.
it, man.
Thank you.
All right, so the last topic we got is the news that broke today, and we're recording this on Tuesday. You might be watching it on Wednesday or after. But the NFL has announced a 17-game season, one last preseason game, and one more regular season game. So we got 17 weeks, 18 weeks of football, regular season, because there's going to be that bye week. But we got 17 weeks now, 17 games. It could be, 10-7 now. It's going to be weird looking at records. What is your thoughts, Dan, on this new extra game for the NFL?
I thought I was here to talk soccer.
Football, I said.
No, I mean, it's something that they've been talking about for a while. As a fan, I love it.
Yeah.
More regular season football, I'll take 20 games. I'll take 30 games. I love me some football.
Yeah.
Historically, obviously, I mean, they've done it before. I think it was like in the late 70s. Was the last time they added games. So like,
Yeah, because it used to be a 14-game season.
it used to be 14, and I think at one point it was like a 12-game season.
Yep.
So as far as like records, I mean, it's kind of not fair, I guess. So there's certain like the season rushing record can definitely be broken.
Yeah.
Going into next year. Who holds it right now? It's Eric Dickerson, right?
You're right. It's been threatened, I think, by Derrick Henry and Adrian Peterson, I believe.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson, I think, got real close. Like,
Yeah, I think he was like 10 yards, 20 yards away, right?
I think what's his name? Chris Johnson at one point, I think was getting close to it. But I mean, get rid of preseason altogether.
Yeah.
Let's just do away with it. What is it? We actually just went through an NFL season that didn't have a preseason game, and nobody missed it. Nobody cared.
It was a terrible season, though. I can't help as a fan of the good team here in the Bay Area. I can't help but think that maybe that lack of preseason for a team that went all the way to the Super Bowl maybe contributed to some of the injuries.
Your team sucked regardless.
Yeah, there's an astounding amount of injuries for the 49ers.
Okay, but you do realize that the Niners were not the only team who didn't have a preseason. So it's pretty even playing field for everybody.
But there was a lot of injuries, though. Cody, what do you think? Did you think there was more injuries last year that you can remember than the prior years?
That was probably the one thing. I think we were talking about this before we started, that I didn't really notice that much of a difference. But now that you mention it, there were a lot more injuries. Yes, the 49ers were probably affected more than most teams, but I mean, remember like week one, like Saquon Barkley was out immediately.
Correct.
I mean, that could happen. Yeah, there was a lot more injuries than usual. So
you know what we didn't have though? We didn't have the season-ending injuries during preseason, which is crushing.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, Barkley, it sucks he got hurt, but he got hurt in the second regular season game. It's almost easier to swallow than getting hurt in the second preseason game.
Yeah. Well, there was guys that were getting hurt in practice as well.
Practice?
I don't know for the Niners, Jalen Hurd, Jalen Hurd, which we hadn't seen anyway, so it wasn't like we missed him, but he got hurt in practice. A few guys got hurt in practice on teams, but that's going to happen. You're not warmed up right. You're going to pull your hammy or just land wrong when you're jumping up or something. But my thing with this new season is, how does this impact the hobby? And I look to young stars like Kyler, maybe like Daniel Jones, like these quarterbacks are going to get a chance, because we all know in the hobby the quarterback sells the best, right? So you give Kyler another game to play, and now he could obliterate like those rushing, throwing records, things like that. That might change how collectors are looking at these players based on that extra game. So something to think about and follow on those players. Also, I wonder if the NFL, and this is a question for you guys, I'll start with Dan. Do you think the NFL maybe switches to like a load management on, like, say, running backs or receivers?
I was just going to talk about that. I'm like, I think as far as the running back position, you've already seen it. and I think you're going to see it even more going further, especially with the extra game. But I'm curious about the defensive stars of the league, like Aaron Donald, Nick Bosa. Are those guys going to get more of a load management and workload?
Right.
I obviously Rams fan. I watched a lot of Rams games last year. They did it with Aaron Donald last year, and I don't know if anybody really paid attention to it, but Aaron Donald in the second quarter, even in the third quarter, would sit on the bench until the other team got past midfield, and then he would come in. So they were doing a little load management on him. I mean,
I was wondering that. I didn't know why.
He's a beast. He can't play every down, and you got to figure like guys like that. Like, it's better to get, more plays that are like where they can go 100% as opposed to having to dial it back a little bit and go 70%.
Right, and you think about the fantasy implications too. Like, say you have like you took Josh Jacobs, right? You took Josh Jacobs probably in the first round more than likely, and the Raiders are up, and it's the third quarter, and the Raiders are up by 21. I wouldn't run Josh Jacobs if I was Gruden. He'd be on the bench.
No, and look, and the Niners are a prime example of having 3 and sometimes even 4 running backs who are pretty consistently getting the ball, very similar to how the Patriots would run. You would never know what Patriot fantasy nightmare. You would never know which Patriot running back to start because James White would go off one week, or Sony Michel would go off one week. Rex Burkhead would go off one week.
Right.
Like, you never know. I think every team is going to have those 3 to 4 running backs who all consistently get touches.
Right. And then, or even like you're like Patrick Mahomes, or like you got to think about if you draft him in fantasy, and let's just say the Chiefs are 13-0, and maybe they clinch at 13-0. He ain't playing for 4 games. That's right through your fantasy like playoffs, right? I know it's only one more game, but there might be some more sitting, knowing that there's at least these guys only play one quarter, like just keep them fresh. Like the Chiefs are 14-0, and then the next team is 4 or 5 games. They're already clinched, and they're just going to play Mahomes for maybe one quarter, right? And then the other guy, whoever's backing up, is going to come in just to get through the week, get ready for the playoffs, right?
Why even one quarter? I actually think going forward, you're going to see more of, and you're up by 3 scores in the fourth quarter, and you got Patrick Mahomes. There's no reason. There's no reason to, and you still see it. It'll be like week 4, and they're up. There's 8 minutes left in the game, and they're up by 3 scores, and you'll see the Patrick Mahomes or the Deshaun Watsons or the top tier Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, like the top tier quarterbacks in the league still out there. I don't think you're going to see that with a 17 game season.
No.
And I don't think you should see it with a 16 game season.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's always befuddling to me that these guys keep their players out there, especially when you know the game's in hand, right? So, but that's all we got for the hype. You guys, thanks for tuning in here to Mojobreak Media. Next week's show will be live, but with Prizm Week, we got to break Prizm. We got to do what the people want us to do. All right, so all of our resources are for Prizm Week. So you guys got to check out Mojobreak.com to get into these Prizm breaks. We're gonna have all types of varieties, and we should have it for a little while. We got some, so we're actively trying to get more. And also check it out in the shop, mojobreakshop.com. We'll have some Prizm up there as well soon. It's not up there now, but it will be up there. And other than that, you guys check us out on the hype here, Mojobreak Media. Check out the Broussard video that Cody just did. He opened up some packs of football, or of some baseball, hockey, and some basketball with Derek Broussard of the Coyotes. Check out that video. And we'll see you next week on the hype. Peace.
Later.